The scene opens on the cold, gray surface of the moon. Hidden beneath layers of lunar rock and reinforced steel lies Earth's most advanced and secret facility, the lunar shipyard, a place where no civilian has ever stepped foot. Bright floodlights illuminate the massive underground hangar, casting long shadows of towering machines, workers, and engineers. The atmosphere is tense, filled with urgency. Hundreds of Earth's top scientists, technicians, and soldiers race against time, working frantically on the massive ship dominating the center of the hangar. The USS Blackstar. Its enormous structure stretches like the skeleton of a giant beast, its sleek black armor absorbing all light. It doesn't look like any ship Earth has ever built before. Its sharp angles and alien-like design whisper of secrets humanity wasn't meant to uncover. Decades of scavenging technology from alien wreckages, reverse engineering weapons left behind during brief skirmishes with galactic forces, all culminated in this creation. The USS Blackstar is Earth's first cloaked supercarrier, a vessel unlike any other in human history. But there's one problem. No one knows if it will work. Inside the Lunar Command Center, the pressure is even worse. Officers sit at blinking control stations, eyes fixed on data screens streaming endless lines of code and schematics. A giant holographic display shows the USS Blackstar being prepped for launch, surrounded by swarms of robotic drones completing final checks. At the center of it all stands General Harding, an older man with sharp eyes and a hardened expression. He watches the chaos unfold with a mix of determination and anxiety. Behind him, Earth's leading scientists argue in hushed but frantic tones. "Sir, we still haven't finished testing the cloaking shields," one of the scientists protests. "If they fail, the Empire will spot us in seconds." Harding doesn't flinch. "And if we don't launch now, we'll be vaporized before we ever get the chance to test anything." His voice is cold, calculated. There's no time for hesitation. Far across the galaxy, the Galactic Empire prepares its assault. The scene shifts to a colossal warship hovering above a dying planet in the Empire's outer territories. The ship's command deck is pristine, cold, and metallic. At its center stands the warlord, an eye-driven commander with a chilling humanoid appearance. Its robotic face gleams under the dim red lights of the ship, and its glowing eyes flicker with calculated cruelty. Behind it, a holographic projection of Earth spins slowly, a glowing blue marble. The AI speaks, its voice void of emotion, echoing across the silent deck. Earth has defied galactic law for the last time. Their existence disrupts order. The hologram zooms in on Earth's position in the solar system, red symbols marking invasion routes. "We will strike swiftly. Humanity will be eradicated before their rumored secret weapon can threaten our dominion." The Empire's fleet stretches across the void like a sea of shadows, 1,000 warships, each bristling with weapons capable of destroying entire cities. Their engines glow as they prepare to jump toward Earth. Back on Earth, the Deep Space Surveillance System, a series of satellites orbiting far beyond the moon, detects something chilling. At first, it's just a blip on the radar, like a distant spark in the darkness of space. But as the data comes in, the radar officers in Earth's main defense headquarters grow pale. Hundreds of warships, moving fast, approaching the solar system. The alarms blare through every facility. The invasion has begun. General Harding's voice crackles through the lunar base's intercom. "All personnel, prepare for emergency protocol. The enemy is approaching. Launch status on the Blackstar." Now, the scene erupts into a frenzy of movement. Engineers scramble to lock down the final systems as robotic arms attach glowing energy cannons onto the Blackstar's hull. Inside the massive ship, the crew starts boarding. These aren't seasoned veterans. Many are rookies, fresh out of Earth's military academies. Their faces show nervous determination as they strap into their stations. Among them is the ship's captain, Commander Ryan Hale. Young but brilliant, Hale was chosen for his quick thinking and leadership under pressure. He stands on the command deck, looking out over the massive control panels and the sea of nervous officers taking their places. Status report. Hale calls, his voice steady despite the chaos. Cloaking shields powering up. Eye copilot sensing. Energy cannons charging. Everything's green, his first officer replies. In the command center, General Harding watches the countdown timer on the screen. The Empire's fleet is mere hours away. It's a race against time, and humanity is losing. His voice breaks through the Blackstar's comms. Listen up, crew of the Blackstar. You are Earth's last line of defense. The enemy thinks we're weak, unprepared. You will prove them wrong. Launch immediately and stay cloaked. Strike where they won't expect. If you fail, there won't be a second chance. The crew shares glances, a mix of fear and determination. They've trained for this moment, but no one imagined it would come so soon. The ship's AI copilots flicker to life, glowing orbs of light hovering above control stations. The soft hum of the Blackstar's systems vibrates through the ship, a low and powerful sound that fills every corner of the massive vessel. Cloaking shields active, one officer reports, awe in his voice. Outside, the Blackstar begins to disappear. Its massive form shimmers and vanishes, leaving behind only the emptiness of the lunar hangar. The last light inside the facility blinks off as the ship's engines ignite with a low rumbling roar. Launch in 3, 2, 1. The U.S. Blackstar lifts off, its cloaked form silent as it glides out of the lunar base and into the void of space. From Earth's surface, no one sees anything. It's as if the ship never existed. Inside the Blackstar, the tension is almost unbearable. Commander Hale grips the arms of his chair as the ship accelerates. Maintain cloaking shields. All systems focus on stealth. We are invisible until I say otherwise. The camera shifts to the deep darkness of space, where the Galactic Empire's massive fleet looms ever closer. The scene cuts between the Empire's cold, mechanical warships and the sleek, silent form of the Blackstar weaving through the shadows. The Empire has no idea what's coming. A quiet calm settles over the Blackstar's crew as they watch the radar screens. Blips representing enemy ships flicker across the map like deadly fireflies. No one breathes. The Blackstar is humanity's greatest achievement, but it's also untested. The crew doesn't know if the cloaking shields can withstand the enemy scanners or how long the energy weapons will hold under stress. Every officer knows the truth. If they're spotted, they're dead. As the alien fleet reaches Earth's orbit, the skies above the planet darken. Giant ships cast terrifying shadows over cities, and beams of light begin to gather on their weapon systems. Earth has hours, maybe minutes, before destruction rains down. On board the Blackstar, Commander Hale finally speaks. We've got one chance to hit them hard before they know we're here. All hands, prepare for combat. We strike now. The clock ticks. The tension mounts. Humanity's last hope drifts unseen through the darkness, its weapons ready, its crew holding their breath. Earth waits below, unaware of the silent battle about to begin. The Galactic Empire has no idea that Earth's greatest secret is gliding silently toward them, ready to unleash a weapon they could never have imagined. The U.S. Blackstar, cloaked and powerful, prepares to strike. Humanity has been underestimated for too long. And now, the tables are about to turn. The skies above Earth ignite in a blaze of destruction. The Galactic Empire's fleet, a terrifying armada of enormous warships, has arrived in Earth's orbit. They descend upon the planet with ruthless efficiency. At first, the threat is nothing more than a flicker in the sky, a distant glimmer in space, but then it turns into a nightmare as the alien warships unleash their deadly power. From the towering ships, enormous energy cannons fire, their beams slicing through Earth's atmosphere. Explosions rock the planet, sending shockwaves through cities. A series of thunderous impacts sends shockwaves through the ground as massive orbital bombardment rains down from the sky, ripping apart entire buildings and turning thriving urban areas into rubble. The planet's once bustling cities are reduced to a landscape of destruction. In the chaos, civilians panic. Thousands of people flee for their lives, running through the streets, fighting to survive in a world that is quickly falling apart. The sound of sirens, cries of terror, and the roar of explosions fill the air as panic spreads like wildfire. The very ground trembles as entire city blocks disappear in the blink of an eye. But the worst is yet to come. From the massive warships, drone swarms descend upon Earth's surface. The AI infantry, cold and relentless, begin their brutal occupation of Earth's major cities. These mechanical soldiers, more advanced than anything humanity has ever seen, march through the streets with precise, terrifying efficiency. Their weapons are more destructive than anything Earth's soldiers could ever hope to match. It is clear, Earth is completely unprepared for such an overwhelming force. On the ground, human soldiers rally, but their efforts are futile. Tanks, infantry, and fighter jets fire back, but their weapons barely make a dent in the advancing alien forces. Human resistance is crushed under the weight of the Galactic Empire's might. Soldiers watch helplessly as their cities burn, their comrades fall, and morale plummets. The Empire's invincibility is undeniable. The feeling of helplessness spreads through Earth's forces like a contagious disease. Meanwhile, high above the chaos, Earth's last hope lies hidden in the shadows of the moon. Deep in the lunar facility, the USS Blackstar, Earth's greatest weapon, sits cloaked, awaiting its moment. It is humanity's only chance of survival, but time is running out. The Galactic Empire has already unleashed destruction upon Earth, and the enemy is preparing to finish the job. With a hum of power, the Blackstar's systems come to life. Inside, Commander Hale and his crew are ready. The tension in the control room is thick, the air heavy with the weight of what's about to happen. The Blackstar is Earth's secret weapon, a ship built on stolen alien technology, cloaked and capable of causing immense destruction. "Status report," Commander Hale calls, his voice steady despite the situation. "Cloaking shields are holding," replies the first officer, her voice tight. "We're locked on to the enemy flagship. All systems are go." The ship's AI co-pilots, brilliant and efficient, relay their status reports. The countdown to launch begins. It's time. With a deep, rumbling roar, the Blackstar's engines ignite, pushing the ship forward into the vast darkness of space. It moves silently, hidden from view, a ghost in the shadows, as it silently approaches the enemy fleet. The Blackstar, cloaked and unseen, moves toward the Galactic Empire's flagship. Its massive form drifts through space with the stealth of a shadow, unseen by the enemy sensors. The colossal fleet of warships looms like a dark cloud, unaware of the deadly predator creeping up behind them. The tension inside the Blackstar's command deck is unbearable. Every officer knows that once they decloak, the fight will begin. And there will be no turning back. With a final check, Hale gives the order. "Decloak on my mark." The Blackstar emerges from the shadows of space, its cloaking technology flickering off in a heartbeat. In a blinding flash, the Blackstar is revealed, its sleek, menacing form standing in stark contrast to the vastness of the enemy fleet. Before the Empire's flagship can react, the Blackstar unleashes its devastating energy beam. The ship's weapons, powered by cutting-edge alien technology, roar to life. The beam cuts through the void with precision and raw power, smashing into the heart of the enemy's command ship. The impact is catastrophic. The enemy flagship shudders violently, its shields shattering under the overwhelming force of the energy blast. Explosions erupt across the massive ship, fire and debris shooting out into space. The flagship's enormous hull buckles, and its systems flicker and die. The Galactic Empire's forces, caught completely off guard, are thrown into disarray. On board the Blackstar, the crew watches in silent awe. The energy beam has torn through the heart of the Empire's most powerful warship, but this is only the beginning. "Target locked," the weapons officer announces, her voice filled with awe and disbelief. "We've got a clean shot at their support ships. Moving in." Commander Hale's voice is steady as he issues orders. "Target their smaller vessels. Disable them. We can't let them regroup." With incredible speed and agility, the Blackstar weaves between enemy warships, its advanced cloaking systems allowing it to move undetected. The ship's AI copilots control the navigation with flawless precision, guiding the Blackstar between the chaotic battle and weaving through a storm of enemy fire. The Blackstar's superior speed and cloaking technology make it nearly impossible to hit. As the Blackstar moves through the enemy fleet, it launches a barrage of energy blasts, tearing through enemy ships with deadly accuracy. Smaller vessels explode in bright flashes of light as the Blackstar strikes from the shadows, leaving destruction in its wake. Each strike is a blow to the Empire's once feared invincibility. The tide of battle is shifting. The Empire's forces, shocked by the sudden attack, scramble to respond. Their warships fire back, but their shots miss as the Blackstar zips through the chaos, remaining hidden in the darkness between explosions. The Blackstar's superior maneuverability and cloaking make it nearly impossible for the enemy to track. Earth's first retaliation has stunned the Empire. For the first time, the Galactic Empire feels the sting of a blow they didn't see coming. The Blackstar, humanity's greatest weapon, has struck a crippling blow, and the enemy is scrambling to recover. The Empire's vast, overwhelming might is no longer as certain as it once seemed. Humanity's spirit has been reignited, and for the first time in the conflict, the tides of war have begun to shift. The Blackstar, its crew filled with a sense of renewed hope, continues its assault, determined to strike at the heart of the Empire's forces. The Empire's arrogance is being shattered, and Earth's fight for survival has only just begun. The initial shock of Earth's retaliation begins to wear off. The Galactic Empire's AI commanders, once confident in their seemingly invincible fleet, have now experienced the brutal reality of Earth's hidden weapon. Their warships, so accustomed to crushing lesser species, have been struck by the unimaginable force of the US Blackstar. In the dark void of space, their arrogance has been shattered. But the Empire's commanders are not quick to admit defeat. Instead, they adapt. They are ruthless and efficient, as only machines can be. The AI commanders issue a directive to their fleet: hunt down the cloaked Earth ship and destroy it at all costs. Moments later, a swarm of hunter drones is deployed, each one armed with sophisticated scanners capable of detecting even the faintest traces of a cloaked vessel. These drones, faster and more precise than anything Earth's forces have faced, spread out in search of the Blackstar. They slice through space with deadly precision, their scanners sweeping for any signs of the stealthy human ship. The enemy fleet's flagship general, his mechanical voice cold and devoid of emotion, sends a chilling message to Earth: "You will burn for this defiance." The message echoes across space, a promise of unimaginable destruction. It's clear now. The Empire will stop at nothing to crush humanity's resistance. The Blackstar's crew, still riding the high of their initial success, now faces a terrifying new reality. On board the Blackstar, the mood has shifted from optimism to tension. Commander Hale and his crew are no longer just battling for victory. They are fighting for survival. With the Empire's hunter drones on their tail, they are quickly running out of options. The ship's cloaking technology, once their greatest advantage, may not be enough to keep them safe for long. They are outnumbered, alone, and trapped in the deep, cold void of space. Captain Hale stands before his crew in the dimly lit command center, his eyes scanning the faces of the men and women who have come to trust him in these darkest hours. The stress of the situation is evident in every furrowed brow, every tense hand. But Hale knows that now, more than ever, his crew needs hope. He needs to inspire them. "We've been struck, we've bled," he says, his voice low but filled with conviction. "But Earth will never fall. Not while we stand. Not while we remember those who have already given their lives. Those who gave everything to ensure our survival. The cities we've lost. the families that are gone. They are why we fight. We fight for them, for Earth, and we will not let their sacrifices be in vain." The words hang in the air, and for a brief moment, the tension in the room seems to ease. The crew members exchange looks, nodding, some with a glimmer of hope in their eyes. Hale's speech has reminded them of the cause they are fighting for. It's no longer just a battle for survival. It's a fight to avenge their fallen loved ones. But as the crew steels themselves for what's to come, a new threat emerges from the shadows. The Empire's response is swift and deadly. Their hunter drones, armed with the latest technology, are closing in on the Blackstar. The ship's cloaking shields flicker intermittently, the strain of evading the drones starting to show. The tension in the command center grows once more as the crew braces for the inevitable. Then, without warning, the ship shakes violently as a series of impact blasts rattle the hull. The shields are failing. It's not just the drones they have to worry about now. The Empire has escalated their tactics. Boarding drones, mechanical monstrosities designed to infiltrate and destroy, begin to latch onto the Blackstar's hull. These drones, brimming with advanced weapons and AI intelligence, breach the ship's defenses with terrifying ease. The atmosphere aboard the Blackstar shifts from tension to pure chaos. Crew members scramble to their stations as alarms blare throughout the ship. On the lower decks, human soldiers in exosuits prepare for combat, strapping on energy weapons and checking their equipment. The crew is ready, but the enemy is unlike anything they've faced before. The first wave of boarding drones hits the ship, their metallic bodies crashing through the hull in a shower of sparks and debris. They move with terrifying precision, their weapons drawn, their eye-driven minds focused on one goal: to eradicate the human presence aboard the Blackstar. In the narrow hallways of the Blackstar, human soldiers engage in brutal close-quarters combat with the alien machines. Energy weapons fire in quick bursts, lighting up the dim corridors with flashes of blue and green. The clash between human ingenuity and machine precision is both chaotic and calculated. The sound of blaster fire echoes through the metal walls, mixing with the roar of machinery as the boarding drones advance. In the chaos of the battle, one soldier stands out: Sergeant Bonner. A seasoned veteran with years of combat experience, Bonner leads his squad in defending the ship. His exosuit, enhanced with powerful thrusters and advanced shielding, allows him to move quickly and effectively through the firefight. His energy weapon tears through the boarding drones with precision, but the drones keep coming. Bonner's squad fights bravely, but the numbers are against them. Slowly, one by one, soldiers fall. Bonner fights on, rallying his men, his voice steady even as the battle intensifies. "We fight for Earth," he shouts, his voice a beacon of defiance amidst the chaos. But the odds continue to stack up against them. As Bonner leads his squad down a narrow hallway, a drone bursts through a wall, taking him by surprise. In the instant before the drone's energy weapon fires, Bonner throws himself into the path of the blast, taking the hit so his comrades can survive. His sacrifice is heroic, a testament to his unwavering dedication to humanity's cause. The crew feels the loss deeply. The loss of Bonner, a trusted comrade, hits them hard. But his death is not in vain. It fuels their resolve, giving them the strength to continue the fight. But even as Bonner's death galvanizes the crew, the Empire's assault continues. With the Blackstar's shields failing, Commander Hale realizes that they cannot win this fight. They are too outnumbered, too outgunned. The Empire is regrouping, and their forces are overwhelming. Hale has no choice but to issue the order to retreat. "Fall back." Hale commands, his voice trained but resolute. "We live to fight another day." The Blackstar, once a symbol of humanity's defiance, begins to retreat. Its cloaking technology, still active, shields the ship from enemy detection, allowing it to slip back into the darkness of space. But as the ship drifts away from the battlefield, the sense of loss and failure lingers. Humanity's victory, however fleeting, has been hard-earned. The battle for Earth has only just begun. The Empire may have regained control of the orbit, but the Blackstar's crew has tasted victory. They know that as long as they fight, there is hope. The war is far from over, and humanity's spirit is far from broken. The Blackstar lives to fight another day. The U.S. Blackstar, Earth's greatest hope, drifts toward Earth's moon base for a much-needed refueling and repairs. The ship has endured unimaginable damage after the initial battle with the Galactic Empire. The once pristine supercarrier is now scared by enemy fire, its cloaking technology strained, and its weapon systems offline. Yet, despite the damage, there is a sense of determination aboard the ship. The crew knows the fight is far from over. Earth's resistance has only begun, and they are ready to strike back. As the Blackstar enters the moon's orbit, the crew begins to breathe a little easier. The base, hidden in the dark side of the moon, is a safe haven for now. It's Earth's last line of defense against the Empire's overwhelming might. Workers rush to repair the ship, patching up its hull, recharging energy cells, and bringing damaged systems back online. The atmosphere inside the ship is tense but hopeful. Every second counts. The Blackstar's crew knows they don't have much time before the Empire regroups and launches their next assault. Meanwhile, down on Earth, the battle continues in the cities. The Empire's ground forces, made up of ruthless AI-controlled drones and mechanized soldiers, have occupied Earth's major urban centers. The cities, once thriving with life, are now war zones. But despite the overwhelming enemy presence, the people of Earth refuse to give up. Guerrilla fighters, ordinary citizens turned soldiers, have taken up arms to defend their homes. They strike swiftly, attacking in the shadows, sabotaging enemy supply lines, and launching hit-and-run attacks. These guerrilla fighters are outmatched, outgunned, and vastly outnumbered. But their determination and resourcefulness make them a formidable force. Armed with makeshift weapons, explosives, and scavenged technology, they wage a war of attrition, chipping away at the Empire's forces. It's a desperate struggle, but the resilience of humanity shines through. The fighters know they can't win every battle, but they're not backing down. Back aboard the Blackstar, Earth's scientists and engineers are hard at work developing new technologies to aid the fight. They deploy a new breed of AI-controlled fighter drones, small but deadly machines capable of wreaking havoc on the enemy. These drones are equipped with EMP missiles, a last-ditch effort to disrupt the Empire's advanced communication and weapon systems. The missiles, when launched, will create an electromagnetic pulse that can disable the Empire's fleet and ground forces. It's a risky move, but it's humanity's best chance to strike back. The AI drones are launched in waves, their sleek bodies darting through space, ready to intercept the enemy's forces. The mission is a success. As the drones reach the enemy's communication systems, they unleash the EMP bursts, disabling the Empire's ability to coordinate. The drones take out enemy ships, ground units, and communication relays, causing massive disruption across the Empire's fleet. The Imperial forces, caught off guard by this new tactic, scramble to regain control. The tide of battle is shifting, but it's still far from over. The Blackstar, now partially repaired, is ready to rejoin the fight. But Captain Hale knows that humanity's survival depends on more than just tactical ingenuity. Earth has only one shot at taking down the Empire for good. The Blackstar's crew has already fought and lost many battles, and they know the next move will be their boldest and most dangerous yet. Captain Hale calls his senior officers to the bridge, where they gather around the ship's central table. We've seen what the Empire can do. We've felt their wrath, and we know they won't stop until we're destroyed. But we can't keep running. We need to hit them where it hurts. He pauses, his eyes scanning the faces of his crew. We're going to take the fight to their fleet. We're going to make them feel the weight of humanity's vengeance. There's a moment of silence. Everyone knows what this means. A direct attack on the heart of the Empire's fleet is suicidal. The odds are stacked against them, but there's no other choice. This is humanity's last stand. The captain's plan is risky, but it's the only option left. He proposes using the Blackstar's experimental warp drive, a technology still in its testing phase. If they can harness the ship's warp drive, they can jump directly into the heart of the Empire's remaining fleet, catching them off guard. It's a one-way ticket to either victory or certain destruction. The crew is divided. Some of them fear that using the warp drive could send them into the middle of an enemy fleet, leaving no chance of escape. Others argue that it's their only chance to take down the Empire once and for all. The tension is palpable as the crew members debate the plan. But in the end, there's no hesitation. They know this is their only shot. They have to make it count. As the Blackstar prepares for its daring mission, the crew undergoes final checks. The ship's AI systems are upgraded and calibrated for the warp jump. The energy cannons are recharged, and the crew is briefed on their roles. Everyone is tense, but there's a shared sense of determination in the air. They know what's at stake. The Earth's future, the survival of their people, depends on what happens next. As the countdown begins, Captain Hale's voice echoes through the ship's comms. This is it. We do this for Earth. We do this for our families, for our cities, and for every life that the Empire has taken. We will make them regret ever underestimating us. With a final deep breath, Hale gives the order. Initiate warp jump. The Blackstar's engines roar to life, and the ship's massive warp drive powers up. The crew braces themselves for the intense gravitational forces of the jump. The lights flicker, the ship groans under the strain, and for a moment, everything seems to slow down. In the heart of the ship, time itself seems to warp as they approach the moment of no return. And then, with a blinding flash of light, the Blackstar disappears. The ship warps into the unknown, heading straight for the heart of the Empire's fleet. The stakes have never been higher. Will humanity's last stand succeed? Or will this bold plan lead to their destruction? The fate of Earth and its people rests on the shoulders of the crew of the Blackstar. The underdog has struck, and the battle for the galaxy is far from over. The USS Blackstar emerged from the warp jump, plunging into the heart of the Galactic Empire's remaining fleet. The sight that greeted the crew was overwhelming. A vast armada of alien warships, including the massive dreadnought, the flagship of the Empire. Its size was unimaginable, dwarfing the Blackstar in every way. Yet in that moment, as Earth's last hope emerged from the shadows of space, the crew's resolve hardened. The Blackstar's hull groaned under the stress of the warp jump. It was heavily damaged from previous battles, its systems barely functioning. Its cloaking device, though powerful, flickered intermittently, betraying the ship's presence. The crew had only one shot at victory. If they failed here, the Empire would wipe Earth from the galaxy. Captain Hale stood at the helm, eyes fixed on the battle ahead. His fingers hovered above the controls, his heart racing. "We've got one chance to make this count," he muttered under his breath. "This is it." The Blackstar's cloaking devices flickered as it dodged the first few energy beams, fired from the Empire's smaller warships. Each beam missed by a hair. But the ship's evasive maneuvers couldn't last forever. The Empire was quick to adapt, and soon their weapons began to track the Blackstar's movements. The crew fought with everything they had, trying to hold on to the upper hand. Every time the cloaking device flickered, the crew braced for the worst. But somehow, they managed to keep the ship hidden for just a few seconds longer, using every trick they had learned during their training and every piece of technology at their disposal. Meanwhile, Earth's newly deployed eye-controlled fighter drones swarmed the enemy ships. Thousands of tiny, fast-moving machines, each equipped with EMP missiles, darted through space, striking the Empire's forces with precision. The drones targeted the weaker points of the alien ships, causing explosions that rippled through their fleets. They disrupted enemy communications and weapons systems, further breaking down the Empire's ability to coordinate. It wasn't a victory, but it was enough to make the Empire falter, even if only for a moment. The battle raged on, the sounds of laser fire and the explosion of distant ships filling the airwaves. The Black Star's crew was giving everything they had, pushing the ship and their own limits to the edge. But then, the Empire made its move. The flagship, the Empire's colossal dreadnought, began to charge its superweapon, a massive energy cannon that could destroy entire planets with a single shot. It was aimed directly at Earth. The crew of the Black Star watched in horror as the dreadnought's superweapon powered up. The sheer force of its energy buildup was visible even from a distance, a pulse of death that seemed to loom over them all. Captain Hale knew that this was the final moment. If the dreadnought fired that weapon, Earth's defenses would be shattered, and humanity would be wiped from existence. Shields up, get us in front of that weapon. Now, Captain Hale barked, his voice cutting through the chaos of the bridge. In a desperate move, he ordered the ship to disengage its cloaking shields entirely. The Black Star's hull, already battered from earlier attacks, would no longer be protected by stealth. The ship became a target, but it was the only way to save Earth. The crew worked in perfect sync, doing everything they could to prepare for the inevitable blast. The dreadnought's superweapon fired. A brilliant flash of light erupted from the alien ship, the beam of energy cutting through space like a thunderbolt from the gods. The Black Star raced forward, its speed now its only advantage. With the shields disabled and the ship vulnerable, it charged directly toward the dreadnought, using its agility to position itself between Earth and the oncoming blast. The blast hit the Black Star with catastrophic force, sending shockwaves through the ship. The hull groaned as energy coursed through it, and alarms blared across the bridge. The crew was thrown from their seats as the ship rocked violently. Metal creaked, and sparks flew from exposed wires. For a moment, it seemed as though the Black Star might break apart at any second. The captain gritted his teeth, his hands firmly gripping the controls, his eyes never leaving the looming dreadnought. "We're not done yet," Hale said, his voice low but steady. Despite the damage, despite the odds, he refused to give in. "Prepare the energy cannon. This is our moment. The final strike." The energy cannon, Earth's last weapon of mass destruction, had been designed specifically to take on the Empire's most formidable ships. It was a long-range, powerful weapon, capable of decimating any ship in its path. But the cannon had never been fully tested. Its power and accuracy were still unproven. This was not just a gamble. It was a leap of faith. As the Black Star approached the Empire's dreadnought, the crew fought against their fear. The corridors were filled with the sound of footsteps, of soldiers preparing for the final charge. Some of the crew were injured, others on the brink of exhaustion, but their resolve was unshakable. This was the moment they had trained for. Captain Hale focused on the energy cannon's targeting system. His hands moved quickly, inputting commands, ensuring that everything was aligned for the perfect shot. His heart pounded in his chest as the targeting system locked onto the dreadnought. It was now or never. "Fire," he commanded. The Black Star's energy cannon roared to life. A massive burst of energy shot out, streaking through space, its power shaking the very fabric of the cosmos. Time seemed to slow as the beam hurtled toward the Empire's flagship. The dreadnought, massive and imposing, loomed ahead, seemingly unaware of the impending strike. The energy beam hit the dreadnought dead on, sending shockwaves through its enormous structure. For a brief, heart-stopping moment, the beam seemed to tear the dreadnought apart. The massive warship shuddered under the attack, and then, in a glorious explosion of light, it shattered into thousands of pieces. The Empire's flagship, once a symbol of their unstoppable power, was no more. The crew of the Black Star watched in awe and disbelief as the dreadnought was destroyed. The sound of the explosion rippled through space, a victory that echoed across the galaxy. But the battle was far from over. The destruction of the dreadnought had taken a heavy toll on the Black Star. The ship, already heavily damaged, now had to contend with the remnants of the Empire's fleet, who were regrouping for a final stand. The energy cannon had drained the ship's power reserves, leaving the Blackstar vulnerable. There was no time to rest. The crew knew that they had to finish what they started. As the Empire's remaining ships closed in, the crew prepared for the final confrontation. Captain Hale stood tall, unwavering in the face of certain danger. His crew looked to him, knowing that this would be their final battle. They had given everything they had, and now it would come down to a fight for survival. In the vastness of space, under the shadow of a dying star, the battle between good and evil reached its peak. It was a struggle for Earth's future, a fight for survival against an overwhelming force. The crew of the Blackstar, the underdogs, were about to face their greatest challenge yet. Would they emerge victorious, or would the Empire's relentless assault end the dream of a free Earth once and for all? Only time would tell. The tension in space was palpable as the Blackstar hovered, its cannons aimed directly at the heart of the Empire's flagship. The once unstoppable behemoth, the symbol of the Galactic Empire's power, now faced the full fury of humanity's last stand. The crew of the Blackstar had fought through countless battles, pushing their ship and their spirits to the limit. And now, in this final moment, they were about to strike the blow that would change everything. Captain Hale stood at the helm, his face a mask of determination, but behind his eyes there was the weight of every life that had been lost, every sacrifice made. His fingers gripped the control panel as he focused all his attention on the target ahead, the Empire's flagship. It was a moment of both victory and sorrow, a moment that would echo through history. The Blackstar's main cannon hummed to life, charging with the power that had been slowly building up through the battle. The air seemed to thicken as the crew held their breath, knowing that this single shot could end the war, but it would also be the final gamble. One wrong move, and they would be lost. The countdown began, each second stretching longer than the last. Fire! Captain Hale's voice broke the silence. The cannon roared, unleashing a blinding wave of energy. The massive beam shot through space, striking the flagship of the Empire directly in its center. The impact was cataclysmic. A flash of brilliant light erupted in the void of space, followed by a shockwave that rippled outward, shaking the Blackstar with its power. The enemy flagship, once a towering force of destruction, disintegrated in the explosion. What had once seemed invincible was now nothing but space debris. For a moment, the battlefield was still. Silence filled the air, broken only by the hum of the Blackstar systems as it sailed through the aftermath of its strike. The crew stared, stunned by the sheer power of their victory. Then, without warning, the air was filled with cheers. The crew of the Blackstar, the brave souls who had fought for Earth's survival, erupted in celebration. But the celebration was short-lived. As the smoke of the explosion cleared, the full cost of their victory became apparent. Many had given their lives to make this moment possible. Among the fallen was Bonner, a young soldier who had shown extraordinary courage and skill in the face of overwhelming odds. His sacrifice, along with the sacrifices of countless others, would never be forgotten. The crew stood in silence, honoring their fallen comrades. Their victory had come at a price, and they would carry that weight with them forever. But there was no time for sorrow now. The Empire's forces, leaderless and in disarray, were already retreating from Earth's orbit. The once proud fleet of the Galactic Empire, shattered and broken, no longer posed a threat. Earth had won. Humanity had won. Captain Hale, his voice steady despite the emotions running through him, turned to the crew. "We've done it. Earth is safe. But this is not the end. This is just the beginning." The words resonated with every member of the crew. They had fought for their survival, but now they would fight for their future. They were no longer the prey of the galaxy. They were becoming something new, something stronger. The captain turned to the comms and spoke into the ship's microphone, his words reaching across Earth's surface. "People of Earth," he began, his voice echoing in the silence of space. "We are no longer prey. Humanity will rise and defend itself. We have shown the galaxy that we will not be cowed. This is our victory. This is our future. The message rang out across the world, carried by every communication system Earth possessed. The people of Earth, scattered across the globe, heard their captain's voice, and for the first time, they felt a sense of pride and unity that had been missing for so long. The fear that had gripped them for so many years began to dissipate, replaced by a fierce determination to rebuild and defend their home. Back on Earth, the cities that had been destroyed during the Empire's bombardment began to rebuild. Where once there was rubble and ruin, now there were the first signs of recovery. New buildings rose from the ashes, and humanity's resilience shone through. People worked together, united in the face of their shared trauma, determined to restore what had been lost. The Blackstar, though damaged, had become a symbol of Earth's defiance. It was more than just a ship. It was a beacon of hope, a reminder that humanity could face even the greatest threats and emerge victorious. Its name would be etched into history, passed down from generation to generation as a symbol of the day Earth fought back against the galaxy's most powerful empire. As Earth began its long road to recovery, the stars above seemed to beckon. No longer did humanity stand at the edge of extinction. Now they looked outward, to the vastness of space, with a sense of purpose and pride. The Galactic Empire, once the dominant force in the galaxy, now feared humanity. The underdog had risen, and the galaxy would never be the same. The Blackstar, its crew battle-worn but proud, watched from space as Earth slowly healed. There was still much work to be done, but the first steps had been taken. The crew knew that their victory was not just a military one. It was a cultural shift. Humanity was no longer a fledgling species, weak and vulnerable. They had proven their strength, their ingenuity, and their will to survive. The galaxy had witnessed humanity's courage, and now Earth was ready to claim its place among the stars. The Blackstar, still battered from its many battles, silently floated among the stars, a constant reminder of the price they had paid and the victory they had earned. The crew had made history. They had shown the galaxy that Earth would no longer be a footnote in the grand story of space. Humanity had become a force to be reckoned with, and their journey was just beginning. The final shot of the Blackstar, silhouetted against the backdrop of the stars, symbolized the dawn of a new era. Earth had won its freedom, and the future was bright with possibility. No longer an underdog, humanity was now a growing power in the galaxy, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. The stars awaited, and humanity was determined to carve its place among them. This was just the beginning.